Are you frozen? Oh no,
No.
your smile was frozen. I was like, because you were like this.
I was like ready, waiting to say hi.
Pivot Point Podcast with Nnete and Vernique.
What are you doing because you want to do it? I'm ready. So yeah,
We ready.
money making moves.
I started speaking my mind and triple my views.
Period. She calls you.
Like, we need to pivot. We on our dream-ish.
So y'all know what that ish means.
Hey, welcome to the Pivot Point Podcast.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good,
How you doing?
good. Huh?
How you doing?
Girl, I'm cool. It's your girl Nnete and
Vernique.
whew, never would have made it.
Without the Lord.
But we're here.
We are here. And we are on our dream-ish.
Yes,
you know what
we
that
are
ish
on
means.
our dream-ish. You said what?
So y'all know what that ish means.
Yes, exactly, man. So we just wanted to check in. Like Texas, we're both in Houston, and Houston and Texas has been all over the place. I'm just like, we got power and water now.
Amen.
How was the ice storm and everything for you, V?
Girl, so every time somebody asks me this, all I think about is slipping and sliding to my cousin's house on the road, like, because we were
Mhm.
out of power. And I think that if it was just me and my husband, like, we would have been all right. But with the kids, we had Addison was here, she's 3. So I just felt like it wasn't going to end up being a safe situation. So we didn't have family close by. So we took our gentle time and drove over to her house,
Mhm.
picked up my mom and grandma first because they didn't have
Mhm.
power either. And we just felt like we were very blessed because we weren't out of power for that long. And we only had the water, being out of water for, like I guess a couple days, but we were able to actually bring people over to our house when they lost power. So, I just felt like it was a community effort, and I still feel blessed, and obviously still, keeping the folks who are still recovering from all of this in, my
Yeah.
prayers and thoughts. But it's just rough. I mean, how was it for you?
Rough, ugly, like that first, like that Monday or whatever, everything was fine. The Monday was like, friends would. We still had power and stuff. I'm at my parents' house right now. We were good. And I was like, let me just, charge everything. We were just kind of prepping, but we had power for the most of the time on Monday. After that, it hit the fan. No power. We still had water, luckily, but my mom is very diligent. So we draining the pipes every single night and everything. I'm working out of her car, because my brother had his car downtown. So I'm literally like writing scripts in the car, like managing my battery power for my 2 MacBooks, and like typing a script out on my cell phone. Craziness in the cold. Not a good look, but the show must go on. And it was whack. And so, like, we were out of power for probably like 2.5 days. And then that third day, that power came on. And for like 3 hours, I was like, oh my gosh, I just want to take a hot shower, just enjoy power, just kind of
Yeah.
decompress a little bit. Did that, then was getting ready for another work meeting. And literally 15 minutes before that work meeting, that power went out again. I was like, I'm going to my brother's house. Forget it. I'm out. I'm out. Because
Yeah.
he had power downtown, but no water. So
It
he
is so
ended up
low.
going, I know, crazy, to a Tractor Supply store and getting like these big, I don't know what the proper, cattle verbiage is for them, but big water containers, because all the regular water containers and all the regular stores were gone.
Yeah.
But it's like, we in Texas, they're feeding cattle, they're feeding all kind of stuff. So he went there, got a couple of those, and like by that time, whenever I went to his house, the ice was there wasn't that much ice on the road, so I felt
Yeah.
safe going there. But because that first day I was trying to find places, every hotel, the Walmart, Sam's, everything around us was shut down. And the ones that had power by the airport, because I'm closer to Hobby Airport, the airport was closed for 2 days. So all of those people who were supposed to be on flights, they're using all those. It was just craziness. I never thought that I took power and water for granted. Never thought I did. I will never take water and power for granted. I am so super grateful to have running water and power.
Simple things like that you would never think that in your grown big age that you'd have to say.
No,
I am
seriously,
It's why it is wild to me. And
being that
I
we're living
just
in America.
are we though? Are we living? Because that Texas be seceding from everything,
Man, for
much
real. And
like
even I'll just throw in like, because my mom and dad, like, my mom's like, man, never in America. She was raised, her and my dad in Nigeria. They're like, they used to have to go walk to the river and get water. You didn't have just running water. And so at first I was making fun of them, because they didn't want to burn like cardboard boxes, because we have a whole bunch of Amazon boxes. I was like, let's put that in the fireplace because all the firewood was gone. Like, I try to do everything. They were like, that's carbon monoxide poisoning. We'll be safe. And I'm just like, oh man, y'all scared. Y'all supposed to be Nigerian. Y'all done made it through wars and stuff like that. But then when it was time to go to my brother's house, they were like, no, we're fine. If you need to go, because you can't make it, because they've been through wars and things, just survivalist. Like, we had a gas barbecue grill. So, we had hot food and like put out the food in the deep freezer. And it was fine. It was just uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable. I think for me, I was just so worried about my grandma who she'd be walking around the house like, it's 30 degrees, girl, but I'm not cold. But you should feel cold. And the fact that you don't is why I'm concerned. And
it's very
that's
worrisome.
why we basically was like, you have no choice. We didn't even we're like, we are coming to the house. So get ready because you're leaving. Yeah. And so they would wonderful cousins made they made space. My cousin cooked up that lasagna was on point. On point. So she cooked it quick too. Like, it was good. It fed everybody. We drank wine. We had a good time. Just grateful that we were in a position where we did have family close by and we were able to go over there, because I know not everybody had, that ability. Yeah. So I'm just grateful and blessed that we, made it on through. Yes. But with that, I will say it really showed who they care about and who they don't care about. Because I felt like, they don't care about us. Because in the end, I saw this article or headline that says Texas is a cheap place to live if you don't consider the emotional tax on your life. Like,
ooh, you gotta send me that article. But it's true. It's absolutely true. Like, I would say in California, Los Angeles healed me in so many ways. Expensive as heck, but like just so emotionally cared for and like just so many things that healed me there. But I don't have my family and friends that, it's a give and take, but it's definitely a different way of living.
Yeah.
That I appreciate, that I'm bringing back with me for however long I'm here.
Yeah.
Back in Houston. Yeah. So what else did the article say? I'm sorry. I just took that like, no, yeah. I'm just agreeing and just like,
well,
no,
it's just emotion. It's emotionally taxing on people who are, in underserved communities, who are underprivileged, who are, who look like us. And so it's just like, yeah, it's cheap to live here until, you live someplace else. Like there was a community up in Austin where all the Black and brown people live, and they didn't have a grocery store within 10 miles, and they didn't have any electricity for over a week. So yeah.
Well, you know what? I'll just say, I haven't read the whole article and I definitely want to read it. I think the world in America, anywhere that you're a Black and brown person and you're not in control, is an emotionally taxing place to live, regardless. Now that I know more about the article, I'm like, that's the same. Yes. In almost every place. Maybe it's special, extra special in Texas. They're bringing out, because I haven't read it,
but yeah. I'm just saying that what people in other places that deal with snowstorms don't have to worry about: people dying of hypothermia.
Yeah, well, it's the deregulation of the power grid. It's about not being connected to the nation's power grid, except for El Paso. That's why they were able to get help so quickly. It's the really laws. It's our governor. You said what?
I said the food is really good in El Paso, and the people are really sweet.
I've never been, so I won't have any judgments or biases. But when you have a governor that's saying that we'd rather freeze than to let the feds come in on our power, and I'm not like, no, you would you say that correctly, Governor Rick Perry. You would rather let Texans freeze than to allow the government in to help you, which might cost you some money. That's what you really want to say. That's the real truth right there.
Or you rather let your homeboys get their money. Let's be real, because that's what it is. That's what it is. Absolutely. You're worried about your homeboys' pockets. You ain't worried about these people, just like your boy Raphael Cruz that snuck on out. That's his real name, I heard.
His real name is Raphael. Ted's real name is Raphael.
Amen. Yes, it is.
Just shameless. He is just a snake. I'm like, trash. They're all trash. I am tired of trying to be politically correct and not painting everybody with the same brush. I'm like, look,
Here's my
The fact
brush.
that they did not, you said what?
I said, here's my brush. I'm going
Here's,
to let
I'm
me
painting a
line y'all up
tree.
and let me wipe
Yeah.
this across y'all faces. Here's my
Right. And
brush.
just tell the truth. It's like your actions speak louder than words. And I mean, just even with Governor Rick Perry, or no, I'm sorry, Governor Rick Perry. It's Governor
Abbott.
Abbott.
Mm-hmm.
Who's Rick Perry now? He used to be the oh my gosh, Rick
She's like,
Perry.
I know this. She's like, I am smart.
I do, yeah, I just still working on my coffee. But Governor Greg Abbott, there we go.
Yes.
Rick Perry, I'm gonna look him up in a second because I'm like, he did something shady recently as well
He
too.
said, you know what? One of the best quotes from Rick Perry that I have found was
What?
he said that women can't be raped because there's something I heard. I heard the doctor said that there's something in there that it'll just shut it down. You can't get pregnant because it'll just shut it down. Mm-hmm. I wish I could see Nnete face. If you can't, if y'all are listening, you can't see her face. But yeah, mm-hmm.
They being people who choose to be willfully ignorant enrage me. And that's why I have divested from a lot of those type conversations and just have really put everything back to my own personal, how am I going to take care of me, my people's, because that's all we can do is focus on community. What
Yeah.
information can I give? What care can I give? Because listening to them fools saying things like this, so you're supposed to be making decisions on behalf of me, and this is what you're saying.
I think so. I think that you're right. And
Mm.
I think that one of the things that I took from this is that I'm going to be so loud and politically involved. Like you, I've been saying this for many years because people say, well, the local elections don't matter because they make such a big deal about the
They matter the
presidential elections.
most.
Because they directly affect you. And so I think that the last year especially has really shown how local elections matter and specifically affect you. Because for example, we're coming up on the 1 year anniversary of COVID-19 restrictions that have been implemented, especially in Texas. I know in
Mhm.
Houston, and it
Well,
shows like
no,
if
no.
we
In
didn't have
Texas, it got
Sylvester.
implemented like 2 or 3 weeks later, or maybe even a month
It
later.
was
But
March
for
13th. It was
huh?
March 13th. I remember.
Oh, wow. In Texas, finally was March 13th. Okay.
In Houston specifically was March
Houston.
13th
Okay.
because, and I'll tell you why I remember. My birthday's coming up, and
Yeah.
my birthday's March 8th, and I had a little birthday weekend, and that Sunday was the 12th, and that Sunday night I got the text message saying don't come to work Monday morning, which was the
Mhm.
13th. If I look at the it should look about right. But I remember getting that text message Sunday night saying, don't come to work, we're shut down. And that we had been at home since that point. But yeah, so yeah, no, you're right. We were late. And that just goes to my point. We were late.
Yeah, because
Because
Cali, I was in LA at that time, and we were already on in quarantine for about a week or two, if I'm not mistaken. And then
yeah,
my brother flew in to spend 2 weeks with me in LA, and I was like, "Well, are you still coming? It's about to be locked down." He was like, "Yeah, I might as well get locked down in California with new air. At least I can go hiking and walk at the beach
yeah,
versus being locked down in Texas." I was like, "Makes sense to me." And then
yeah.
2 weeks later, I was flying across country in the middle of a pandemic, escaping LA and coming back to Texas at the end of March. But we'll talk about that in another episode. But
Because that is a big pivot.
that is a huge, you got to pivot. Okay. Anyway, on my dreamish. Yeah. So now with us, marking that 1 year of being under quarantine and COVID-19 finally being taken serious by the administration, Governor Greg Abbott decided that we no longer need any COVID safety procedures in Texas. They're not requiring businesses to force their customers to wear a mask. All businesses can open at 100% capacity now. And because of all said things, and the fact that I have pre-existing conditions, and I need to go to kickboxing to get some aggression out, I just got my vaccine, my first shot, because I was like
Amen.
holding off on everything. I was holding off on everything because I was like, let's just see what's happening. These variants. My mama Ben got hers. She got both of hers. She's good. But on Sunday, I was like, you know what? I want to get back into life and take advantage of being in Houston and, just not living in fear and in double isolation,
Yeah.
especially now that I'm about to be off for a month on hiatus. So I got my first shot
That's good. I
right
feel
before
like,
this
how did you
episode.
feel? I guess you don't have a good gauge on how you feel since you literally just got back,
Yeah,
right?
literally just got back. It was quick and easy. I ended up getting it at Walmart. I got the Moderna by the sister that was a part of it. Right now everything's fine. I was like, okay, cool. Like it is what it is. We'll see. I know some people have more symptoms on their second shot. I think my mom had the Pfizer shot. The second shot is where she felt a little bit more like, just weak and tired and everything. My second shot isn't until like April 2nd or 3rd. So I was like, wow, 28 days out. They were like, yeah, that's how it is. So now I will say this, if anybody wants the shot and you're not in any of the categories right now, if you go to your local pharmacy or Walmart, any of these places and get on their waiting list, because these vaccines have expiration dates. And if people who have signed up to come and get their vaccines do not, instead of letting the vaccine expire, they will call you to come in and get the vaccine.
That's great information. I didn't even
Yes.
know that.
Oh, absolutely. I heard about that a couple weeks ago. And then today, when I was at Walmart getting my vaccine, I asked them, like, when are y'all going to have more available? Blah, blah, blah. And literally the pharmacist offered that to me. She was like, well, if there's anybody that you know that needs it, just tell them to come in and get their name on a waiting list. And if people don't show up, like, it was so simple. Because she said some people just
Wow.
aren't showing up. So call your local pharmacy, get on waiting lists, do what you need to do if you are interested in taking the vaccine.
Yeah, that's great advice because I would have never guessed that because I actually signed my husband up for his vaccine because he fell into one of the categories and I was like, I guess I'm just gonna wait on mine. But
Mhm.
that's good info to have. So I'll tell other people too.
Yeah, and then also I know people that are also getting the vaccines because they care for their parents or their
Hmm.
grandparents who are in, the ages that are, they're most susceptible. And if you're in a, multi-generational home where I am in, like right now, I'm like, my
Right.
mom and dad are here. I don't want to be bringing things back and forth. That's another reason why I haven't really been in the streets because Texas been open. I know people, freaking out when they saw Bow Wow and they freaking out when they see everybody, but like, y'all, it's been open out here. I have only went to one thing and I felt very uncomfortable when I was
Yeah.
there. I went to like an
Yeah.
event and I was like, ooh, they smoking hookah. I'm like, so we just blowing COVID in the air. Like
Girl.
80% of people didn't have masks on. I mean, it was so nice to socialize, but I was like, nah. So my happy medium is still patios and the
Yes.
patios cannot be packed.
Right.
So, everybody has to, I do understand like with Texas, where they're big on, it's about personal responsibility, not the government trying to legislate your personal life. That's how the Republicans, position it. And I definitely understand what they mean. I mean, because I do think, it is a personal responsibility. They can have all the legislation in the world. And there's some spots over here by my parents' house that ain't never shut down. Like, and that's white folks, black folks, Asian folks, whatever. Everything is still packed. Like, because they're going to
Yeah.
do what they want to do anyway.
Because there were never any really consequences. There were and
Mm-mm.
so there were never any. So that's why I guess for me, I'm really annoyed in the announcement, but I know the reasons for the announcement. In my opinion, it's all based on appealing to his base, right? Like he has a certain base that he wants to appeal to. It's all a plan. It's all, I can go down my conspiracy theory rabbit hole, but
Well, it's not even a conspiracy theory. It is definitely a plan. And then also, like, cause I know what was Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner was like, there was no good reason for him to make that announcement. And my brother and I were
not
talking
one.
about it. And then I said, of course, there's a good reason for him. All of these businessmen who were like, hey, you got me running at half capacity. It's costing me money. Is the government going to give me some more, like money to supplement my income? Because I do think, and this is where I think the last administration fell, if you are telling businesses to close, if you are telling people not to go to work, you need to pay them to stay home. You need to pay them to close their businesses because how like are you just supposed to let your whole business fall? I mean, as a former entrepreneur, or still entrepreneur, you know what I mean? Like as a store owner, am I supposed to say, you know what? I'm just going to shut everything down because let me tell you, these credit card companies, yeah, they'll let you, not make your payments right now or whatever, but they're still calculating interest. So
Yes, those
they're
payments are
making
still there.
money.
Payments are still there. They're not going to go away.
No.
They're not going away. And so totally agree with you. And it's interesting to me how other countries have done it, like in which
Hmm.
how they compensated not only their residents, how they compensated the business owners, and
Yeah.
how they took care of people for in living expenses as far as like rent and mortgage and things like that. But here's
They
the
take
other
care of their
thing too.
people.
They do, but I just, I got, I keep telling people, I got a country exit strategy. Like everybody who knows me knows what's up. Like,
Mhm.
thank you, Houston, thank you, Texas, thank you, United States. But know that your girl is out in a little bit. I'll come visit. I'm gonna be back and forth, but know that I can't. I don't think it's fair to allow my child to only see this as a form of government. Like I think that it's not right. And granted, let me say this: I'm not just exiting without trying to change things. I'm not just running away without trying to make some changes and things
Well,
like
here's the
that. So
thing: you don't have like the new type pivot has been. I'm not changing systems. I'm changing myself.
fair
I'm
enough.
changing what I'm gonna do because it's like, um, you don't. There may be tons of problems, and you may have solutions for them, but you get to choose how you want to spend your time. And
Oh yeah,
in college and during those times, I was in NAACP, Black Student Union, joined sorority, did all these things. I've been so active that like my passions and my priorities have shifted. And for me, my personal fulfillment is, okay, what can I do for myself, for my family, for my loved ones? And that's it. So
that's all
if
you
you
got.
if you
Yeah.
want to run away,
Oh, let's be no. So I am running
I'm
away,
like,
but let's be
run
very
and then
clear because
and
I
run
have.
with your locks in the air with enjoyment, no judgment, baby. Do what's best for
But
you.
I am passionate about housing insecurity. I'm passionate about things like that. Like I'm passionate about people being able to live comfortably. But most so and you know what? And the long and the short of it is I hate people seeing people get screwed. So if there's a way
Yeah.
for me to change it in some way, and I'm a connector, I'm a person, if I don't know how to do it, I know somebody who can do it. Ask me anything. I know somebody who can do it, or I will find somebody who can find somebody to do it for you. Period. So I
Yep.
just feel like, and it's actually enjoyable for me to do that. I enjoy connecting those dots. So I said, if you're so pissed about it, Vernie, do something about it. But at the same time, I'm not going to run myself ragged. I got appointed to another board a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and I
Congrats.
said,
What
thank
board?
you. I don't know if I can speak on it yet, so I haven't
Okay.
spoke on it.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
good.
but I'm very excited about it. But Mark laughed at me, and I said, "Yeah, no, this is the last one." I was like, I can't join anything else because I'm going
Mhm.
to be too busy. So I have to be mindful because, as I was telling Nnete before we even started recording today, I said 2021 was a year about easeful abundance. It ain't about running myself ragged.
Yeah.
Working, I'm not working hard, I'm working smart.
Yep.
So I think that, I have to be mindful about it. But at the same time, I get fired up and I know that I can use my voice. I know that I'm loud. I know that I can be, I'm a negotiator. I know I can get things done. So I'm being mindful about how I use it though. Like I'm not going to run myself
Yeah.
ragged. So I appreciate you for reminding me of that.
Yeah, I'm just reminding you about when one of my therapists in LA told me, she was like, yeah, you're great at a lot of things and you can do a lot of things and you've done a lot of things, but you just don't have to.
Amen. You
You,
right.
you, you just don't, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Other people can solve their issues or this and that. You can choose one or two and not feel guilty about not fixing something. Like you can choose. Like she really helped me start to learn how to balance my time and like really pour more into self because
Yeah.
that's what I can directly control.
And yes,
So
definitely.
that's where the energy I was coming from. Like, girl, do what's best for you. People doing that every single day.
Every day.
People with more resources, less resources, everybody's doing what they think is best for them. We all have our different boundaries and limits of what we want to contribute, when we can contribute. Just I've shifted so many thought processes and unlearned and unpacked a lot of things, and I'm just in a different space right now.
So speaking of, I hear
Mhm.
you have some time off coming up. So
Yes,
what
yes.
so will you be pouring into self during this
Oh,
time off?
I'm getting the rest of my personal life all the ways together. So yeah, I'm gonna be off on it's officially called spring hiatus,
Uh-huh.
from the real for about like 4 weeks. And during that time, I'm going to love on myself. I have to close a couple of court cases with the soon to be ex husband. Yep, getting divorced. And I just know that I need that time to mentally process. Like I got my doctor's appointment set up for today. I'm going to the dentist next week. I'm already looking for my therapist, signing up for kickboxing to get the aggression out. Like I'm like, these next 4 weeks, is just really like, no, we're gonna love on Tay Tay. A couple of my friends wanted me to come to LA, and I was like, nah, like as much as I want to, because I'm always down to go to LA, always down
Yeah.
to go to LA.
Yeah.
I was like, that right now, that would be running from the adulting and the things that I need to do that will set me up for when the season wraps in May. Because then when the season wraps in May, I'll have more time for like 3 months. Like I'm
Yeah.
available to work on other productions or to travel, do whatever I want to. But I don't want to be like putting off the things that I can do this next month till May. I want like when May come, now we good. I can
That
do
makes sense.
whatever. So yeah, that's what I plan to do. I've been reading books. What's going on with you? Are we moving on to the books or like?
Oh, I mean, girl, I mean, I'm good. I want to be where you are at as far as hiatus time, because I feel like
Mhm.
the storm took me out and I spent that whole week
Man,
catching up.
yep,
And then
likewise.
I had a training session that was supposed to be 2 weekends in a row, which I was ready for, but they got kind of reshuffled because of the storm. And so I
Mhm.
just feel like I had been running on a trillion, 100,000 trillion. Shout out to normal Kanye. For some time now, and
Mhm.
I am ready. My birthday is next Monday, and so I
Yay.
am just ready for some, like, just to, just kind of reset. I just, my goal, I always reset around my birthday, so it's probably, I do go
Likewise.
hard. I usually do go hard before my birthday, so this is not new, but I didn't imagine it to be going this hard
Well, you're
for
going
so
this
long.
hard as an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
entrepreneur clocking in for yourself.
Yeah, and I feel good. I will say I feel very blessed. Like, to say I'm busy is a blessing. Honestly, I have clients that I'm like, hold on, before we record, I was like, hold on, I gotta answer this text message. So I feel good and I feel blessed, and I just want to keep on pushing, because, like, we're doing good. Business is good. So, I'm just
Yes.
pushing forward. So yeah.
And
So,
since
but
you brought up your, go ahead, go
yeah.
ahead.
No, I was gonna say about the book. So
Well,
actually,
before the book, I was gonna say, since
uh-huh.
you brought up your birthday, what do you have planned for
So
your birthday?
a new boogie. No. So for my birthday, nothing super major, like nothing super
Mhm.
major. I saw there's a handbag I want. I was like, I'm gonna buy myself a handbag. But really, my husband's taking me to lunch. I'm gonna test drive some cars, like, because I deserve. So
Yes.
so I'm just trying
Yeah.
to decide, like, I also feel like I should take care of the planet. So I'm test driving a car I really want, but probably will not get, but also test driving an electric car, because that's what I should probably get
I
to
mean,
make
do you
sure
not
my
want to tell
kid.
us the brands and stuff? I
Yeah.
mean,
So I'm
if
gonna
you don't
go.
want to, you don't have to. But I'm
I
just
mean,
like,
I guess. So I've always wanted the G wagon, like before the Kardashians were a
oh,
thing. Like, I've been wanting
girl,
the G wagon since
yeah,
I was like in college,
yeah,
and
because they're dope.
so
Which I saw
yeah.
one
But
this morning when I was coming back from the park, a white one. I was like, all right, you fancy. I see you.
know, I want that black on chrome, girl. I seen they had matte with they had a matte black with like these rims. I was like, oh, that is amazing. But
Oh.
but they get like 8 gallons, like
Oh,
eight
the
miles a
mileage is
gallon.
trash. The
It's
mileage on my
super
C300 is
trash.
trash.
Yes. So
Trash.
completely trash. So I think that I'm going to, because I do want it. So I think here's the plan. So I'm also gonna, I've been researching as electric SUVs.
Mhm.
Volvo has a new one. Volvo is the safest car around. You know what I'm saying? It's a very safe car. They have an SUV that's electric, and so I'm gonna go check it out. But my plan is to eventually just have two cars, and so I will eventually get what I want and then drive the electric every day. So
Well, if this makes you feel any more comfortable, people are using private jets all over the place, and the dent that the gas emissions from the G wagon is way less. I'm just saying, like,
you're right.
there's
You're right.
only so
Actually,
much you can do.
I should get the G wagon and then just stop eating meat. I think that will like equal each other out.
I get iron deficient when I try to stop eating meat. I'm a steak and seafood girl, like my boy Little Flip. You know what I'm saying? Eating steak and shrimp. I could do that.
Yeah,
I think
so
we should
I'm gonna
all be
figure it out.
conscious, of course, to what we're doing to the planet, and also put things into perspective.
Yes, yeah. Most definitely.
That
But
we're not
that
depriving ourselves from everything, and it's like I don't want to say the dent you're making is so inconsequential because everything does count
matter.
and
Yeah.
matter and adds up, but it's just always the biggest, the one thing, the one one thing I agree with Meghan McCain on The View is when it comes to, especially a lot of these Hollywood celebrities and people, these millionaires and billionaires talking about, environmental change and saving the planet. Y'all are still flying in these private jets to places, even just in the US, that are, for your convenience, that I mean, the damage, the emissions from just those little private jets do pales in comparison if we all had G-Wagons. So it's like,
yeah, I know.
everybody has to know what's personally best for them. I'm just
Exactly.
saying, I'm no longer guilting myself with certain things. It's like,
oh no,
I
think that's fair.
Yeah,
I think that's fair. I just know that I am a driver. I like to drive a lot, and so that's why I said, well, how can we balance this? And so for me, the balance is I'll just get both and just drive,
and that makes you feel better. Yeah.
So and cut back on my my meat consumption. I have an article, I sent it to you because I just saw one today that was pretty interesting about consuming meat and how it can affect, like I think it said it like can lead to 9 different illnesses or something like that. Or
a lot of it is also, again, about how they raise the meat in America,
how it's prepared,
how it's processed, how it's prepared. A lot of it's countries that, again, all they do is eat meat. They ain't got cancer. They ain't got half the problems that we have in America.
Yeah, so it was actually a UK article, but I still found it to be interesting. I mean, I think that the whole meat thing, I don't want to say people should stop eating meat altogether. I do think personally that if we all cut back a little bit, it'll make a difference. It's just my personal opinion, because based on, like you said, the consequences of every little bit counting, they say that meat consumption is one of the big ones. But I'm not telling people to stop eating meat. I eat meat. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I'm not, I'm not at all telling people to stop eating meat. But
I get it. I'm not gonna not eat meat for the environment. I'm like, for my personal, like if my cholesterol is off or this and that. When before I used to be just pescatarian, and then I was taking iron pills every day because I was iron deficient. Right. And my doctor was like, "Do you want to take these iron pills every single day and drink Metamucil because iron causes constipation?" And I mean, that was my mid-20s for a while, and I was like, "This is stupid." And she said, "Or you can eat beef at least once a week." And that's when I started eating beef again. And I was like, "Oh, I'm no longer anemic." So it's like, everybody, you gotta, and what's interesting, you gotta check out some of these YouTube things of some of these, vegans. And I know that's not what you were saying, but I mean, people that, weren't eating meat and all of the health problems that they had.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then they're still acting like they're having these vegan lifestyles, and their bodies are not. Yeah. A couple of them got caught eating fish or got caught eating this because they built this whole platform on meat is bad, is bad. And they're sharing all these articles, and they were influencers there. And then some of these girls lost their menstrual cycles. Some of them, they were having so many, because there were just so many other issues. It's just, you have to talk to your doctor. That's why I'm going to the doctor today. And I'm getting a full blood panel, full hormones, I need to know all the levels.
Yeah. But I mean, that's it for anybody. You gotta make sure you're taking care of you first, right? So like anytime, most definitely. I mean, that makes sense to me in that and also anything in extreme is not good. Period.
I agree.
Period. Because there's this girl I follow that's like a raw vegan. And I'm like, girl, that's real cute. Your juices look real good. You know what's not gonna work for me? Making juices every day. They make a whole mess. If somebody want to come bring me some fresh pressed juice, I totally take it. I'll buy it at Whole Foods, but I'm not. I'm not committing to that lifestyle. Absolutely not. I'm not even gonna fake it. So what you gonna read? What are you reading? What books
what am I reading? I know before we have to go, what I've been reading, this is my third time reading this book, or listening to the book, actually. One of my good friends' therapist, who is a Black male therapist, on her first session suggested this book to her. It's called Women Who Love Too Much, When You Keep Wishing and Hoping They Will Change.
Oh,
it's by Robin Norwood. Exactly. When she told me the title, that I felt offended. I said, watch how you handle me. I mean, I was like, okay, so that must mean I need to listen to this book.
So you didn't hear me. I said, is that Brandy's mom? No. Okay.
I did not hear that. No,
okay, sorry.
All right, Sonya gonna come for you. Sonya, don't get this turn on my podcast taken down. We was just joking. Miss Norwood, she don't play. Oh, so I think that every person should read this book. Robin Norwood is a therapist, and it's basically about love addiction, and that so many women are addicted to love, and you think that love is suffering, and if you're not suffering,
Mm,
then you're not love, and just the way love has been taught to us, and then also about the things that you experience in your childhood emotionally, and how that affects how you subconsciously seek out the partner you choose to be with, or some of the things you do in your relationship. No, it's deep. And like, even first, what's funny is, the title, Women Who Love Too Much, When You Keep Wishing and Hoping He'll Change. I didn't even get the title right the first two times that I had listened to it, because I was like, when the men, I said something about the men, and I didn't even say women who love too much. It's like, when you, I said the men that wish you, like, it's show about you. And it's like, it breaks, even in the preface, she's like, well, if you think that the examples and stuff that you're about to hear, you might not like see yourself in them, or it's too extreme, or you don't need it, then perhaps this isn't the best time to read this book. I'm like, watch how you handle me, please. But literally on this third listen, it has been even more insightful. I mean, it just kept, I mean, I understood and got it the first time, but like, this is healing work. I mean, because love addiction is just like alcohol, it's just like food, it's just like, cocaine or anything else, but I didn't even see it like that. I didn't even see it
yeah,
like that. And
yeah.
so I suggest everybody to just read the book or listen to the book with an open mind. Like, it's like, you will see yourself in certain things.
That's why. Well, now you made me want to read it just
You
so
should.
we can have a whole episode about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I have thoughts. I already have thoughts just based on the sole
Title.
name of the book. Yeah, just
Oh, I
on
went
the
back and read
title.
articles about her when this came, because the book was released in 85, girl, old school
Oh,
therapist. And she was a love addict, and she healed herself. And then, and teaches this to women and everything too, how to disengage, how to have healthy relationships, healthy boundaries, how to get out of your partner's life and managing them and into your own. And, that's not your job to fix. Even like this last time, I was giving this little snippet that really, I had to play that back a couple times. She was like, even in your relationships, if you're always trying to encourage and not necessarily persuade, encourage, and to what's the other word, like compliment certain behaviors, if you're
mm.
doing that to your mate in an
Like they're a
attempt,
child? Is that what you
you
mean?
don't think that you're doing it like they're a child,
Uh,
but you're encouraging certain behaviors, and you're complimenting them so that they can do those behaviors because you like them, and that'll make them do things that'll make them the perfect person for you.
Ooh.
That is manipulation. I was like, now hold up, now you mean to tell me I can't even encourage my man, because we're supposed to hold our man down, like how
She
holla
calls
holla
you.
holla holla
She called folks out on that
holla
one.
holla 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 holla. And then it was like, well, damn, like, that's why I had to keep rewinding. And I was like, you know what? Interesting. Got it. Clear.
I
Guilty.
like that. I like,
Guilty.
but yeah.
Guilty. Guilty.
That's good. I'm gonna check it out, and we can we'll set a date. Maybe we'll try and encourage some other folks to, like,
Oh
give us
yes,
some
we need
questions
to.
about it. That would be fun.
Whew, yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
it'll be very eye opening. I'm so curious to hear what everybody has to think about that. So we'll put that I'll put the title and everything in the description box and everything, so y'all can check out. Now, what are you reading, Vernique?
While you were over there self-helping, I was over here disengaging. Okay.
Well, we're in different parts of our pivot right now. We're in different
Yeah,
parts. Yes.
girl. So I think I mentioned this on the first episode. Like, I read novels to just escape
Hmm.
craziness. And so, last year I read a lot of novels, and I knew that the second Coldest Winter Ever was coming out. So during literally sitting on my cousin's couch after we escaped the slippery ice storm, I downloaded Coldest Winter Ever on my phone. I said, I'm just going to download this book because I can't right now. And I had me a glass of wine and started reading that. And so after reading that, I was talking to a girlfriend, and she was like, "You like Omar Tyree and Fly Girl?" I said, "Oh, I ain't read Fly Girl in a minute." I said, "Let me
Oh my gosh, I read that
restock my
back in the day.
library with these nostalgic books." And so I found I think it's I don't want to say the wrong name of the bookstore, but it's a bookstore that has used books. And I found
Hmm.
Fly Girl, For the Love of Money, and Boss Lady, which is the series of the Fly Girl,
I remember
and
those. Oh my gosh.
bought
Back
all three
down
of them. I'm
memory
also
lane.
order. I know, right? I'm gonna also order me a little stamp that says "Property of Vernique's Library," so like so
Cute.
people can borrow them, but make sure you bring them the hell back. So
Look.
so I just got those books in the mail yesterday, so I haven't even opened the package, but I'm very excited to read them again. It's amazing how much you don't remember. Like I didn't remember how much winter was a basic B in Coldest Winter Ever.
Girl.
And so
I have unpopular opinions about Coldest Winter Ever.
Oh,
so.
please share.
Yeah.
They're probably not unpopular now that we're older and have better sense.
No, it just depends on what type of reading you're exposed to and what you like in general, and which you've just been introduced to. Because I know people that still love it. And the sequel is called Life After Death. The audiobook is narrated by Nia Long. I just produced the Sister Soldier segment for The Real. So check out the interview on the Real YouTube page. Yep.
Oh, so, that's awesome.
It's about when Winter Santiago, the moment she steps out of jail, what ensues, what she plans to happen, doesn't happen, and it's an adventure.
I'm excited. I will say I'm excited to read. I don't know if she's gonna have better sense, but you know, hopefully she will. I read all kinds of stuff, so you know, I'm ready. So yeah,
we ready.
Hey,
yeah, birthday weekend. Okay.
Hey, all right.
Yeah, I know, getting crunk. This is so good. I just love when we get to talk and everything. Girl, Omar Tyree. Oh, the you just got me down like, man, I remember all those books and just where I was in life when I was reading those and everything. So, and where I am now. Yes. You love too much when you keep wishing and hoping he'll change. Divest, ladies. That's all I gotta say. By Robin.
I love it.
All right. Till next time, right?
Till next time, we'll see y'all.
Yes, have a wonderful birthday weekend. Go V. It's your birthday. Go V. It's your birthday. Go. Hey. Yes. All right. Thanks for listening to the Pivot Point Podcast.
Thank you. Talk to y'all next time.
Yep. Ciao.
Bye.